Welcome to my channel. This video, I just want to cover something related to Node because the query string that library is deprecated and the new API is called URLSearchParams. And also you can also use the URL because from URL you can get URLSearchParams. It's gonna be a quick video. I just show what's gonna be the thing used to replace query string. Now let's take a look at the source code. Here I will create a new JS file called URLSearchParams.js file. Previously we used query string, query string, but now this one is kind of like deprecated. You can see here, deprecated. The new one is URLSearchParams. Let's take a look at how to do the thing. I will just demo this similar kind of like similar features as we used before. So first, URLSearchParams is a global class inside Node. You can use in any JS file. And how to use that? First API is here. It has a URLSearchParams. It's a class and you can give constructor. Suppose you give a string here and then you will get an object. This object is gonna become key is username, value Tina, and the key is password, value is Xing. It has two properties based on what I passed here. And let's take a look at here. Suppose we get the query string from the client side, and then you can use the URLSearchParams to get the object. Otherwise, the deal with string is not very friendly, right? So that is one usage of URLSearchParams. Here I will do node URLSearchParams, and you can see here this is kind of like a map. It's not an object. This is kind of like a map. How to suppose I want to get a Tina or I want to get an Xing. How to do that? You use a thing like log obj.get, and you get username. And if I want to get a password, same thing. You get password. And now let's take a look at it again. You will say Tina Xing based on key value pair. And you can also use obj.set. You can set more key value pairs there. And here I will give a key, yes, a row, and I can have admin. Have that like this way. Then let's console log the obj again. Object, and now let's run. You will see this SearchParams have 3. And suppose later on you have an object and you want to generate a query string and then append on URL, right? You can also do toString. Let's see this. Obj. Is it called toString? Yeah, I couldn't remember. Let me see. Yes, toString. See here, when we call toString method, it will automatically give us a query string. Then you can append on the URL. It also have other methods like a delete. Suppose I have object.delete. I will delete username, and then we will do console log.obj. And then you will only have password and row because I deleted username. So that's the basic APIs how to use the URLSearchParams. There's one. Let me test. I have never done this one before. Let's have another username equals Irene. Now let me see what's gonna happen with this one. So here I have two same key, right? And they point to different values. Here I have username twice. Suppose this one gonna happen because suppose you have a form which is submit your hobby, And for the hobby, you have many, and in this case, you will have like a same key, but the value is different, right? You can also use an array; it's your choice, okay? And then if I want to get Irene, get a username, okay? So here, let's take a look at here. I'll comment most of them, okay? I'll comment all others. Then I will just get a username, and what's gonna happen? If I get a username, you can see here it will only give me the first one. It didn't give this one. It has another method called getAll. Let's take a look at. I think it's for when we get all, you will get both of the property key, both of the key as username, and the values gonna become array. So we have Tina and Irene here. So you can, if you have this kind of cases, you can use getAll. Okay. There's another scenario is URL. You don't need to use this one. You don't need to use URL. This one, which is a module. It also have a class called URL. You can do is you can use new URL, and here let me copy the URL. Okay, let me copy the URL. Did I have here? This one. Let me copy this URL here. Okay. And you can see that that URL format is also deprecated. See here, for my use URL object. Okay, so we will use the URL and we give the here this thing. Not on this one because I was using Mac. I was using another book, Windows system. Okay, so here I will put the URL here. And what's gonna happen is when we do like this way, it will convert into an URL object to us. So you don't need to deal with the string, right? So here I will have my URL object. Okay, then let me console log this part. URL object, and then you will see an object being printed. And in this object, you have href, origin, protocol, username, password, hostname, and here this is our search params. It also have a search query, which is this is a hash part. And suppose you want to get a queries, because here is a page 2 and index 10, right? Then you can deal with the URL search queries. Suppose I want to get the query. Suppose you get an entire URL, and now you want to get the search parameters. What you can do is what thing. URL object then dot search params. Search params will get this part, right? Suppose you want to get a page, then use get and give a page, right? And this is how to get it, this part. Let me put it inside the console log. Okay, and let's take a look at. You will see the page is 2, and if you want to get an index, just get an index. That's the URL. Let me suppose now this one is an object, right? Let's take a look at this object dot console log the toString method. Okay, so this one URL object is this URL object, right? Now let's print log URL dot to object dot toString. I expect it should give us the this string again, but you can use URL.href. You can get a string again, right? Okay, so when you use the toString method, it will give back you to the URL string. So in this case, you don't need to use the format, which is the URL.format from object to be a string. You can also from this an object and call the given URL. From URL you can get this toString. You will get the the thing back. Okay. That's it for this video. A quick update on this Node.js playlist. Okay, see you next time. Bye.